Outside your community, outside your team here in Second Life, or outside your door in the organic world. Who can help you raise that money? It's not hard if you ask. Like Random just said, how many times do you get asked? It's a lot.
The other thing is, I have a feeling that some people just don't want to ask because they feel like they're asking for money. So I would just go about it and say, I'm not asking for me. I'm just the.
Could I offset whatever I donate has to push that?
Oh, you mean minuses?
Yeah. Question.
Doesn't work that way. We want your money too.
I owe myself.
You can ask the Fairland sheriffs. I'm not sure what the articles of the Fairland say about the legality there, but we'll look into that.
If the queen is in the lost princess, we can get her made.
She's feeling a lot better.
Oh, good. Well, she knows everybody's out there looking for her.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to ask everybody. I'm actually going to start with you, Sting. Obviously, it's your job to relay. But prior to going to the American Cancer Society, did you relay?
Before I worked here, I had attended one relay event, and I didn't know when I attended it that it was relay. And then a couple years later, maybe 2 years later, is when I got my job here. And the reason I got my job here was I was actually going back to school to become a teacher because I wanted to have a job where I felt like I was contributing to society, And so the first couple of months, and it was in January, and my first relay would be in May. And so those first couple of months working with the volunteers, I realized that I found the fulfillment that I was looking for because it was the volunteers. I didn't have a real strong personal connection to cancer either. But those volunteers' reasons became my reasons. And I said, you know what, I found that fulfillment. So I ended up I was like, okay, I'm not going to finish back to school. I had only had half a semester behind my belt. Anyway, so I get to my first relay event, or as I'm working on it with volunteers, these images of the event that I attended a couple of years ago started to come back, and I was kind of like, this is familiar, but I couldn't place it. I'm like, I swear I've seen this before. It's like deja vu. And then we get to the event, and I'm seeing them walking around the track, and we have the mission tent, the stage here, and the teams are doing their fundraising. And then it clicked. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been to one of these before. So I wasn't a relayer before this job, but I cannot imagine my life without it at this point. And I tell staff all the time, if I didn't work here, I know I'd be a volunteer myself. And I tell staff all the time when I talk to them, I say, the question is, if you were not working here, would you be a volunteer? And if you say yes to that, then you're going to make out just fine. If you say no, if you're honest with yourself, and if you say no, you're probably not going to last more than a year working for the American Cancer Society. Because staff do work 80 hours a week. It's what it feels like.
Yeah. Jamie, you're in Europe, and I believe your country has Relay for Life. Were you involved with Relay before you came to?
No, I wasn't. I don't think we have a Relay for Life. I think we also have a cancer society, but it's called different. I don't know what it's called, but I didn't relay before Fantasy Faire. I have entered into Cyberpunks for Life with DRD with my store in 2012. And that's when I first actually heard about it. And then when I joined Orphans, they they're more fantasy, so they did the Fantasy Fair and the Home and Garden and all that, and that's when I started to get involved in the Relay for Life, and I was looking it up more and more and seeing what they actually do and everything, and it's really it's amazing actually that the money is used for something, because here in my country, we also reach out and try to find help, and they actually did not offer that much help here. So I'm really glad to be doing something for an organization that actually does do something and helps people. So that's really, really nice.
But I did double check because we did this last year, and I'm going to just have somebody send you a Relay for Life, your country's Relay for Life T-shirt, because we have. Did you relay outside of Second Life before you came here? Was this your first relay, and have you ever relayed outside of Second Life since?
No, I never have. Only within Second Life.
And we've had this discussion.
I did not relay actually prior to being involved with Second Life. I've gotten involved since then, just as a person who goes out and walks the track here in my community. I live in just outside of Atlanta in Gwinnett County. It's I don't know, Jeff, is it still the largest the Gwinnett
Yes.
County relay?
Gwinnett.
For a couple of more years, but there's a relay that's got them in their sights.
Yeah, so I've got the last couple of years I've gotten to do that. The year that Lauren asked me to help to build the first spring fighting cancer campsite was the year my dad was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer, and so that got me, very interested in wanting to do something. And so when Lauren said, "Hey, what do you think we do this?" And I was just like, "Well, that's exactly what I was looking for." I was here at home as a caregiver. It wasn't easy for me to go out and even to work outside the home there for that year as he was going through his treatment in the last year of his life. And that and the combination of that and the fact that Dad and my family really benefited from a number of different ACS programs, Patient Navigator especially, and also the program where knees at that point. So we actually had some volunteers come and pick up my dad and carry him to
Road to Recovery.
Road to Recovery, that's it. So my family was a beneficiary of these American Cancer Society cancer programs. And then, of course, I know so many people who, frankly, just wouldn't be alive today without research that was driven by ACS support, thus relay support. So, it's not an abstract. It's a very personal thing for me. I feel like I owe a debt to the American Cancer Society.
I think we all can do that at that. And the first time I met Sting is, and you'll remember that I actually got to say thank you.
Yeah, I almost told your story this morning, but I didn't want to violate any privacy.
You're more than
I've heard
welcome.
you tell it on more than one occasion. But,
You're more than welcome to share that story with anybody. Because that is one of the reasons. We celebrate our survivors here in Relay, but when those survivors, I can tell you, I talk to these survivors all the time. I'm with them in both venues, both Second Life and in several real life relays. When we're walking around the track, we're all saying thank you, because we know that it was the American Cancer Society that was instrumental in us being able to walk around that track. We also know that because of what we're doing today, somebody tomorrow is going to be doing the same thing. It's kind of special to be able to say thank you. Where is that kiosk? Can't see it.
It's very purple.
Guys, you guys are
the
slacking.
current total is 3.4 million. What are we trying to get to?
3.5.
Right now, Sting still the owned concubine of Jamie Hancock. The shape, what size he takes, here also on the plate. Still, if somebody wants, they're going to have to make a big gift if somebody wants to take Sting away from Jamie.
Something else I want to say. You talk about saving lives before they need saving. And Random, the story you told during kickoff, which Grant Vosberg's story is what I'm thinking of, and you tell it better than I do, but this is a volunteer that we were able to hear his story at this year's Relay Summit. Random, are you listening?
Oh, yes, I am. Did you want me to?
Yeah, I just wanted you to tell, because when you tell it, I get goosebumps.
I was waiting for you.
Random tells this guy's story better than he tells his own story.
Oh, I've been telling everybody in my real life, so I got it down. Guy meets this girl when he's 6 years old at a birthday party. He sees her, he thinks, I'm going to marry that girl. Sure enough, they go through school together, they get married, they have a family, they have kids, they have a wonderful life. They're in their 50s, and she's diagnosed with colon cancer. And for 2 years, she's in treatment. Her very last chemo treatment, he carries her from the office weighing 89 pounds. She recovers. She's doing wonderful. They got their life back. Cancer didn't rob them of their life. All of a sudden, he's diagnosed with colon cancer. He's going through treatment. And he says, the story didn't start when we were 6 years old. 2 years before we were even born, our grandmothers went door to door knocking for donations for the American Cancer Society. They went door to door, and there was a research study done, and a scientist developed this drug that both my wife and I are on. Our grandmothers knocking door to door saved our lives 50-some years ago. So what that means for us today in 2015 is that everything we're doing, all of these donations, this challenge for STING could be the cure for cancer for our grandchildren.
That noise.
We don't know what the future holds. The future is now. Your donation counts. Contact your family and friends. We're all in this together.
Oh, I'm seeing a donation from my dear friend Ren.
Oh my God, it's always her. I remember her taking that sim liminaria from me.
Oh.
We need 21,000 and a couple of lindens to get there.
An acre away from Jamie Hancock. It is now a bit of a dueling contribution.
And we need 9,600 lindens. We are getting into Sting. Are you're looking forward to this, aren't you?
There's a part of me that is, and then there's a part of me that does. What have I done?
I'm about to prove it.
I don't know if Ren knows Sting, but I'm thinking I wish everybody would slip me Lyndon so I could win this. I have the best challenge for you.
I now own Jeff. So,
Oh, damn it.
And never mind, Ren's back out on top again.
We've seen him in a pink tutu. He did not look good in that.
The cowboy hat.
Yeah, the cowboy hat that helped. So
It's now back to Ren. And there were 89,471 at this kiosk since we started having some
Thank everybody for playing along with us and for helping push that kiosk over.
Thank you, Cats. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ren. Thank you, Old. T.S. Darrow, thank you so much. Ariel Golderzon, and T. Oster, Cats Jewel Lane, Vicky Maidstone. Holy cow, this just keeps longer and longer. Thank you. Richard Benoit, thank you so much for your donation. Just incredible amount of money here. 99,475.
Wow.
And that brings us to 100,000. We're going up here. Just
To Jamie and Ren, just to let you know, I like wings. Wings are cool. Which means I'll probably get no wings.
I know a good a good look when they see it.
Yeah, the question, are they going to make me over to be like a great fantasy app?
Feeling you're good. You're gonna be. We're all
It'll
gonna
be
be
fine.
quite amazed at what you look
You
like.
know, Sting, you're gonna love it. They're all Fantasy Fair people. They know their stuff.
Well,
You're gonna love it.
from the designs and everything that's in the kiosks, I should have nothing to fear.
I think you're Ren's. Ren owns you, I believe.
Outright, huh?
Outright.
Outright. Well, that just about wraps it up for us. And I really wanted. This is, I have so enjoyed sharing the panel today with all of you, and I can absolutely guarantee you that the people who've been tuned in on T1 and Fantasy Fair Radio have also enjoyed this conversation. And I'd like to thank each one of you, Jamie Hancroft, for taking the time out. I know it's evening. It's late in the evening there.
It's 1:30 a.m. here.
And Aisling Sinclair.
Been my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Trader.
Lauren, thank you, and thank you for everything you all have collectively done for Fantasy Fair.
Well, thanks for having us all here today, Trader.
Oh, my pleasure. Random, always a pleasure having you here with us. Sting, I wish you could be here every Sunday. You could sit. We could do this. You could be Ed McMahon to my Johnny, or vice versa.
Yes.
However you want to work it out.
Yeah.
You are correct, sir.
That was my Phil Hartman doing Ed McMahon.
There you go. and Xander, always a pleasure. It's everything you have done for Relay for Life. The telethon, Fantasy Fair, or Friends Fighting Cancer. Just thank you very much for everything you do.
I just want to take a moment on behalf of Elizabeth Tinsley, our executive director for Fantasy Fair. And I know she would want to. I think she was supposed to be in the air with us today, but had a technical issue. But I know Elizabeth would want to say a big thank you to all the sim designers, all of the merchants, all of the visitors, the bloggers, the DJs, the performers, all of the executive committee, and everybody who's come and enjoyed the Fairlands this year. We're still here for another 5 days, and you can always find out what's going on online at fantasyfairsl.wordpress.com.
And on Fantasy Fair Radio.
That's right. And before we sign off, just to give you an updated total, they have not stopped. $14,278, $3,569,000. It's going to be 3.6 by the time we get off here. $3,569,508. That's over 100,000, probably 130,000 lindens in the last 25 minutes. Just an
Just the
amazing
kiosk
job.
here is 101,000.
Yeah, just crazy. So, again, stick around. Apparently, I'm sticking around here, and we'll be continuing this simulcast until 7 p.m. So,
We're going to have Jeff washed and pressed and get him delivered to.
I'll make a made-over lap around the Fantasy Fair Sims when we're done. Maybe we'll get that done tonight. But we